Hi everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Hallmark Plus More, where we watch and talk about shows, movies, mysteries, Hallmark ornaments, and anything else that floats our boat. So today we are going to be watching and reviewing and discussing after the new show on CBS called NCIS Origins, which basically gives you the background or where Mark Harmon, who played Gibbs on the long-running series NCIS, this is kind of where he started. So you won't necessarily see him in the show because there's going to be a young Leroy Jethro Gibbs. So it kind of shows like where he started, kind of getting into NCIS and kind of getting into the military, meeting Shannon. I'm sure there's going to be that as we get further along. So Mark Harmon is very heavily involved with the production. From what I've read, he's a producer. He narrates the show, so he's very much involved. But you're not actually going to see him on screen, obviously, because this is showing the young Gibbs and how he came to be Gibbs, I guess, so to speak. So you will be also seeing a young Mike Franks. So it's kind of going to be interesting to kind of see, what made Gibbs Gibbs, so to speak. So definitely exciting. It is airing, like I said, on CBS. The first episode is 2 hours. So I believe it's going to be season 1, episode 1, season 1, episode 2. They're just kind of going to air them back to back. So just stay with me. We'll watch the 2 hours. We'll do a review and kind of get into it. I'm excited to see it. I love NCIS, love Gibbs. So really excited since he's heavily involved in it. I think it's going to be really good. So let's just get right on into it. I am going to count it down so we can watch it together. Right now on the screen was the CBS logo. So I'm just going to count it down and then we'll get right on into it. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Oh, looks like the desert here. Gibbs narrates it, Mark Harmon. So that's awesome. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we're seeing the beginning of it. The credits. 1991 it says. Okay. He's got a wedding ring on, so maybe he's already met Shannon. Going to Cape Pendleton. I always make notes. So Randy's is one of his coworkers. I knew that was drinks. Okay, a little too much information there, TMI. Okay. Gotta have your gear, Gibbs. Ooh, bones. Okay. Starting out kind of weird from the get-go, aren't we? Mm-mm. Do I want to know why they've got hanging bones everywhere? Ugh. Ooh. Everybody has their hobbies, but I don't understand this. Oh my, oh, seriously. What are those dead animals' bones? What? Who are you? Okay, so that's a coworker. Okay. Still creepy. To each his own, though. Everybody has their own hobbies, but I couldn't do that. Looks like it's been torched. Ooh, well, there's the body. Oh, he's going to throw up, isn't he? That's common. A lot of people do that when they see dead bodies and grotesque things. At least that's what I hear. Okay, well, first commercial break. So we got some information. First off, it looks like he's wearing a wedding ring. So I know I said in the intro, I thought maybe this is where he met his wife. But I guess he's already married. He's not going through boot camp. He is literally like first day on the job as an agent. So that's interesting because, you know, I didn't really know what we were getting into. So this is gonna be good. Maybe we'll see, you know, Shannon, or maybe we'll see that family dynamic. Definitely think, you know, once a Marine, always a Marine. He's very much that way. Very, you know, feisty team members. You know, Frank's is Frank's. When I saw the man in the phone booth, I was like, that's Frank's, because it just seemed like that would be, you know, something he would do. From watching, you know, NCIS and the older Frank. So I kind of like that because that kind of ties right on with my impression of how Frank would do something. But, you know, like I say, he's probably going out to throw up, I'm assuming. I know a lot of people do that when they see autopsies, or dead bodies, or just mangled bodies. So definitely think his team has a lot of characters. So it's going to be interesting to be able to just, you know, explore that, and kind of see how they all kind of fit together. I always say when you have a group, it's a team effort. Everybody brings something different to the table. So it's going to be interesting for me to see, Randy, Layla, I think her name was, what they all bring to the table. Because I think when you're trying to solve a mystery, or in this case, a crime or murder, you need everybody to come together, and everybody kind of brings something and looks at things differently. We need different perspectives. That's what makes solutions. That's what solves cases. So it's going to be interesting to see how everybody kind of gets together and kind of solves it. So but definitely, I love that Mark Harmon's narrating it. I mean, love that so much. So definitely think that's just going to add to how much I like it, knowing that, Mark Harmon is heavily involved in it. I assumed behind the scenes, executive producer, having it say, but now that he's actually going to be in every episode by narrating, I love that. A little surprised to see his face in that first episode, that flashback. I was like, whoa, that's Mark Harmon. But yeah, very interesting to see. And I hope he narrates throughout the whole series, because that's just a great bonus feature. All right, here we go. Mm-mm. All right, let's see. Oh, so they've already been murdered. Okay, never mind then. So we're not going to meet Shannon. The tragedy has already happened. So this is, I guess, him picking up the pieces after his wife and daughter were killed. So that's interesting too. Dealing with that trauma and moving on, so to speak. All right, Melanie. Art. Okay. 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 I don't know if I'd be talking about the wife. Oh, okay. Oh, good job, Randy. Move on. so sweet. Okay. So the bones was an art form. Bugs. Okay. Bugs. Oh, he's going to Gibbs. Are they going drinking? Yep, they're going to the bar. Okay. Bourbon. Ooh, she's Marines too. Okay. Okay, so she's Marines too. All right. So we knew there had to be drinking because it's Frank's. Um, but it's interesting to know that she was in the Corps too. So, um, Randy seems like a really friendly guy. I kind of went like this weird face, this weird look when he said he peed on himself. I'm like, oh, too much. TMI. You don't tell people you peed yourself. You just met this guy. I know you're trying to bond as a new coworker, but like, that's not what I would have said. I don't think I would have just told a stranger, my new coworker, that I peed myself. So that's why I was like, not the best icebreaker, not the best way to get somebody on your side. But other than that, we all say things we don't mean. Other than that, I guess he seems like he's, a really good coworker. He seems nice. He's playing darts, drinking with Franks. He's really showing Gibbs, obviously, showing him the ropes. But when they went to the grandmother's house, obviously Gibbs froze up and he just kept the interview going. Even when he could tell that she kind of struck a nerve with the wife comment, he picked up on it and kept going. So I like that about Randy. I think he's got good instincts. And I like that he kind of gets along with everybody. And she, knowing that she's in the Corps, knowing that she understands discipline and authority, I like that. I like knowing that kind of her background. So, obviously watching NCIS, we know Gibbs usually doesn't pick a fight unless there's something, it's a good one, it's legit. But this is young Gibbs, so maybe he's hot-tempered, hot-headed, who knows. So that's kind of interesting. Will we ever figure out why he picked the fight? Maybe not. But definitely, starting the case off with a bunch of dried up bones in a house is kind of not my cup of tea. But the granddaughter said it was art, so everybody is artistic and everybody has different hobbies, and that's the best thing about the world, right? We're all unique, we're all different. So let's see if we can figure out what happened to this Melanie girl. They're showing previews for other CBS shows. Matlock, love the new Matlock with Kathy Bates. I thought it was great. Come back to my channel. We can watch and review that one together too. Loved it. And love Elsbeth. I thought that was great last year. Really enjoyed her. So yeah, definitely like the new shows coming to CBS. So stay tuned if you want to watch those channels with me. But we should be getting back to it here. Here we go. I'm assuming they're at the morgue, yeah. Okay. Wow, that's a really good reconstruction. Wow. Oh. Whoa, that's a big hole in the back. Huge hole in the back. Okay. The tunnels, okay. All right, so this is the tunnels. Looks like, is this where people are staying maybe? Hmm. Yeah, I guess so. There's an older lady. There's some guy. Okay, so it looks like they found him. He looks like he is really, really high and jacked up. Okay. Whoa, he looks like he's really tweaked. Mm. Oh, he looks like he's crying. Okay. Okay, so maybe he... Uh-oh. I don't understand what the cheers are, but I guess that's just something they do in the tunnel. Hmm? Yeah, get it out in the open now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Gibbs. Okay, Gibbs. Uh-oh. He sees something. Okay. Well, at least she basically told him what his beef was, or told, yeah, why she kind of had a problem with him. Oh no, please don't tell me you went back by yourself. Come on, Gibbs. What do you see? He's on to something. The wheels are turning. Oh, I think he's saying it was a sniper. Okay, yeah. Hmm. Oh, he's in his tiny whiteies. I love it. Okay. All right. So, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, whoops. When I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna see that's a sniper. When I could see him like kind of fall on it, because he's the sniper. So definitely interesting to see what that is, and what comes about. So they said, it was just a big, I mean, I don't see a lot of skulls that have um gunshots in them, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that that one doctor was able to reconstruct the skull and be able to see, like, okay, you were shot in the head and this is the exit wound. That was amazing to me, the fact that the doctors could do that. But he saw something in that picture and he was like, wait a second, I need to go back to the house. I just personally don't like people to go alone, because I feel like, that's when something happens. So I was like, no, don't go by yourself. I don't think they got much out of Bugs. I don't. I mean, I know they're taking pictures to see if anything of Melanie's goes in there with him, but I don't see that. So that's going to be interesting to kind of see, if it is a sniper, why, according to the grandma, she's not into Satan worshiping or anything like that. It's an art form to her. So, like I say, we're all different. We're all unique. We all have different hobbies, different things that we like to do. So hopefully it's not something, demonic or anything like that. I mean, we just want to kind of find out. If it's a sniper, it kind of shows a whole nother dynamic. Because snipers are premeditated, right? It's not, a crime of passion, or, oh, it was an accident. I mean, if you're killing somebody from a sniper outside of their home, or, half a mile away, I mean, that's premeditated, that's planned, that's cold-blooded murder. You know what I mean? You are planning this out. So that kind of gives you a whole nother level of what's going on, and who could have done it. So definitely find it interesting. I love the dynamic of Frank's. I just really think, it's really coming along. I love the way it kind of shows all the different people on his team. They're all different. So I definitely think it's going. We're almost done the first episode, so that's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens. And then, like I say, it looks like it's a 2-hour premiere. So it looks like we're going to go into the second episode too for 2 hours. So definitely, going to see what happens. Is it going to be 2 hours on the same case, or is it going to go into another one? Hopefully you guys like it too. I was hoping, Gibbs or Mark Harmon would narrate the whole series. Maybe he just narrates the beginning, but so it looks like, Shannon and Kelly have passed. So this is his trauma pretty much after it happened. So that's interesting to watch too. I think. You know what I mean? Like I said, I apologize saying that earlier. I didn't know what to expect with the show. So now it looks like it is just focused on Gibbs, no girls, just the flashbacks like they do in the, like they did in the regular NCIS. All right, let's get back to it. Let's see what's going on here. I'm driving down a road. Now he's a sniper, so he should have some experience in this, Gibbs. Whoa, that's kind of far away too, man. Good job, Gibbs. I didn't know that Frank's vouched for Gibbs at the beginning. I thought he was just on his team. So this is kind of cool where he was looking out for him. Okay. Well, I mean, I like that they kind of got it out, but I guess they haven't gotten it out. Still kind of tension there. Seriously, yeah. Okay. Uh-oh, Gibbs. Yeah, you got to. You can't talk to him if he's a suspect. I know you've got your feeling for this guy. Let me guess. The Gibbs gut. All right. So I'm assuming this is us kind of seeing Gibbs gut maybe for the first time. Um, but yeah, I mean, you definitely kind of got to follow the evidence, which, is kind of I don't want to say a Gibbs motto because he doesn't necessarily say that that's his, but he does do that. You got to follow the evidence. You got to do it by the book. So, I guess, he's trying to prove himself. This is a first episode, young Gibbs, his first case, first week on the job. You got to follow that Gibbs gut, right? But at the same time, I mean, is this also a show in humility? I mean, is he gonna, vouch for this guy and this guy actually did it? So, is this kind of a shakeup in Gibbs? So, because, there's only, 10 minutes left in the show. So, I mean, this is kind of when you find the suspect, or at least maybe he knows somebody. Maybe he didn't do it, but he knows who did, or maybe he was the driver, he went out there and maybe he's a witness. Maybe he saw something. He didn't know what he saw. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times that happens. Neighbors see people drive away from houses and they don't really think anything of it, and then they just saw a killer leave. So maybe he can help. Maybe not. But I think this is definitely, a test for Gibbs. He's having to question a former Marine that he served with. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how he handles that. Early on, obviously, I feel like when we're young and when we start out on a job, there's always kind of those stepping stones, those learning moments. So nobody's perfect and nobody does everything right, the first time. That's why practice makes perfect. That's why there's that saying. So, I think him saying, I know him. But then, you hear people say we're all capable of murder in the right circumstance. I don't know if I believe that necessarily, but I can see how people would say that. So I think this is kind of going to be a test for him. Let's see how he does with somebody he knows and doesn't think he's capable of it. But at the same time, you got to follow the evidence. And you have to do your job. In the end, you got to do your job. And I feel like that is something Gibbs would say. Look, we got to do our job. I wish we heard Mark Harmon more. I wish he narrated heavily on, on the show than just in the beginning. But we'll have to wait and see. He's kind of behind the scenes. But I always like kind of narrating in shows because I think it helps sometimes. But let's see how it develops, and we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting to watch him. I don't think he interrogates his friend. Maybe he's just watching since he has that kind of personal connection with them, but we'll have to wait and see. It should be coming back on. And CBS is having their premiere week, so it looks like they're promoting a lot of their shows. But yeah, let me know how, let me know how you like it. Stay with me in the end and we'll do a review. And see how you guys like it. I mean, this is the first episode, first season, so I think a lot of people are getting their feels on how they like it. And it looks like there's a lot of shows coming back on CBS here. All right, so we'll get into it and see. I just always like to know the why. Why a sniper? Why premeditated? What was the beef? Like what did they have that they wanted her dead? That's what I always like to find out. Is kind of the who done it and the why. So that's always what I like to find out. It's that curiosity that, why did this person do that, and kind of figure it out. So, but let's get back to it. Well, we found a little bit more about Randy. Uh-oh. Woo! Gibbs going in hard. Oh, Gibbs. Well, now, I don't think he did it, but now he has to fess up with his wife cheating on him again. That's rough. What's going on? Yeah, that's hard to be an investigator. choked up saying it. Mm. Mm. Oh, that's hard to see. What happened there? Hmm. Oh, so it's like a serial killer? Wait, what? So the sniper's killing other people. Bonfire? What do you see? What do you see? Franks. What? Okay, well, what? Okay. Okay. Well, I was just saying in the last commercial break, I want Mark Carmen to narrate some more, and then boom, he's narrating it. But this is towards the end. So I don't know if it's going to go right on into it. I mean, it just says that it's like 2 hours. So all I know is next week it shows, in the guide, episode 3. So they're either going to make this episode 1 and 2, or they're going to stop it and start it. But, I mean, it looked like, he found the sniper pad, or so to speak, where he shot Melanie into the house, 1,300 yards, which is a very long, very, very long distance, obviously. This looked like, from what I could kind of see, it looked like a bonfire, like a bunch of teenagers just having a bonfire on the beach, drinking, partying, whatever. And from what I could tell, there's a couple different bodies, male and female. I thought the first body was male, and then that last one was a female. So don't know if we're looking at specifics or demographics. If it's a man sniper and he's just killing women, or who's killing who, so to speak. So I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens, with the next episode. Because seems like a continuation. I mean, they say it's a sniper, but then Gibbs was like, this is her story. So what does that mean? So they're kind of leaving me with more questions and answers, which is always good because, I love a good whodunit murder mystery. But I'm a little bit at a loss. We haven't really... I didn't think Gibbs' friend did it, obviously, because I do kind of believe in that Gibbs gut. But the bad part was he basically was told that his wife's still cheating on him. So that was really hard for him to take. So don't think we're going to see him anymore. Gosh, that's got to be so hard to watch. So his gut told him he'd never see him again, and then he doesn't. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so hard to take. Okay. All civilians. Oh gosh. All right, well, let's see what's going on then. Mm-hmm. Well, they're pushing him out of the way. And you know what? In the regular show NCIS, they battle with the FBI too on jurisdiction and, who's going to finish the case and who has rights to the case. So I think that happens in any situation like this, but I kind of agree with Wheeler, their boss. Like, look, it started on base. So they should have the investigation, maybe joint with the FBI, but really FBI comes in, I guess, and takes over. And that's kind of what we're seeing. So it looks like we're kind of just rolling right on into the second hour of the show. So I guess they're kind of going to put these two episodes together. But stay with me towards the end and we'll kind of do a review and talk about it. Hope you're enjoying the show. Not really knowing what to expect. So it's interesting, just to kind of see how it's rolling, kind of pick up on the characters. We're so comfortable with with the regular NCIS and all of the characters that have been there long term. So I'm trying to, kind of write down and getting familiar with the characters. I feel like what I said with Randy was good. The TMI at the beginning about being himself was a little weird. But other than that, he seems really nice. He seems to fill that awkward spot, that awkward quietness, or should I say, when they kind of get to Gibbs and you can kind of feel somebody says something doesn't rub him the right way. And I mean, he's married, he has a son. So I definitely think it's interesting. I think, this is a way for Gibbs to kind of shine here since he's a sniper. Bring some of that experience. Give them some information that they wouldn't normally have because they're not snipers in the military. So hopefully, we'll kind of see what Gibbs bringing to the table. But I like the dynamic of the team, And like I said, we're going to have to see him make mistakes. We're going to have to see him lose his temper, get into a bar fight, kind of like we saw or heard about with his knuckles and everything, because he's young and that's what we do when you're younger. You make mistakes. That's how we learn. So, I mean, we're so used to the seasoned NCIS, the older NCIS, boss, Gibbs, and all of his experience and all his wisdom. Well, you have to start somewhere. We don't just come out that way. So we're going to have to watch, how that develops. Right. Good theory. Let's see what Gibbs says. Good work. All right. Getting somewhere a little bit. The RN was right at the first episode. If he doesn't take that ring off, even though he didn't want to hear it, now it's stuck on his finger. It was a sore subject talking about it, but now he can't get it off. Oh, I'm feeling pain right along with you, Gibbs. Oh, you got it off. It's got to be hard. Yeah, it's hard losing a family member, losing a granddaughter. Mm. That is one thing Gibbs like to do. Promise people he's going to get the guy. They don't like you to do that because there's no guarantee that they're going to get the guy. But wow, I mean, we just found out information. You know, we always talk about that Gibbs gut, right? He had a gut feeling the last time he left his wife and daughter, and ultimately that was the last time he saw his wife and daughter. So I mean, there was been some flashbacks. If you ever watch the regular NCIS, where you see him leaving because he's gone on a couple different tours, and he regrets leaving his family, but you didn't know that like he had this gut feeling that he actually ignored, and then something happens to them. However, since we find out later it wasn't an accident, you know what I mean, that she saw something and she's trying to do the right thing, and the drug dealer purposely killed his wife and daughter. So that makes me believe if Gibbs was in the car, he would have killed Gibbs too. The daughter didn't witness anything, the wife did, and they didn't have a problem killing both of them. So I mean, I always feel like you're at the right time and at the right place. Sometimes, you hear people say they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. The couple, I mean, in this case, the sniper had it out for a specific person, knew the routine, knew they were going to walk on the beach that night, shot him in the head, direct shot, and then shot two other people, I guess, basically, to kind of throw it off. They were just, at the wrong place at the wrong time. So, I mean, it's very unfortunate, especially when you have those bystanders. You see that a lot in cop shows where, family members and other people, they get in the way accidentally or don't know, that they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. So it definitely happens, and it's always a tragedy. But I think Gibbs is ultimately saying, like, look, I made you a promise. I'm going to keep that promise, and I'm going to find out who did this. And like I said earlier, I always want to know the why. Tell me why they did it, I think it's definitely going to be interesting to kind of figure out why. Or what connection does Dustin Cruz have with Melanie? And why, is there somebody else? Is there a third person? Is this like a murder list? Is he just kind of going through and killing a lot of people? Or is it just the two of them? Let's find out. Here we go. So what is Gibbs' like little side thing that he wants them to look at in the FBI? That's interesting. Okay, well, you learned a little bit about her. She really does care. Hmm. Right. Come on, Randy. Hmm. It's funny to see computers back then. Oh, okay, that looks familiar, like from Melanie's house. Boyfriend, girlfriend? Okay. So, you know, that's kind of my first thought. Maybe they were boyfriend, girlfriend, especially when you find out that the couple that was killed on the bonfire had nothing to do with nothing. Just innocent bystanders who were killed just to, I guess, make the sniper think it was a serial killer. Um, so it's going to be interesting to kind of see like where this goes. Um, we have about 30 minutes left, so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what why the sniper did that. Hopefully, like I say, is it a list? The reason why I was thinking is maybe they were dating boyfriend girlfriend, because if it's not and it's just completely random, um, I mean, were they in a club? You know, did they go to some kind of event? Because why are you killing different people if there's no connection? So it looks like they have a connection now, because that looks like something that you would see in Melanie's house. I mean, the only other thing completely far-fetched is if something completely far-fetched idea is if somebody planted that, but I don't think so. I think this is going to prove that they're connected. And remember, it started on base. Melanie was on base, so I think that's like maybe them connecting it to the bonfire is going to allow I guess it's not NCIS, sorry, NIS to take the case over again, or at the very least, finding this will allow them to kind of do a joint investigation, because it seems like right now they're kind of on their own, but they have to be a step behind the FBI. I really want them to go to the hotel and look at that I said sniper's area. I guess it's called a sniper's hide. I really want them to look at that because I want Gibbs to look at it. He's he's the expert. He's the sniper. Let Gibbs look at it. See if there's anything that he can pick up that maybe somebody else would miss, or something that doesn't look that it would have anything to do with it, but it does. You know what I mean? Like something only a sniper would know, or something that would pick up on. He was talking to the guy from forensics for what did he say? What did Frank say? 25 minutes? And he was talking them through each shot. And two of the shots had glass, and that's their assumption was they weren't killed. You know, they were just killed to kind of give an distraction, kind of misdirection. So I did think it was interesting when he said this one was shot in the head, the other two weren't. Like, okay, if he's such a great aim and he's such a great sniper, why did he do an easy shot? And that's why, for a distraction. So I think this does kind of link the cases, and I hope, what we're going to see is they're going to figure out the connection and be able to see why. So definitely going to be interesting to see. Gibbs is by nature quiet, and I'm assuming, when he was younger, he was even quieter. So I always thought it was going to be a little interesting to see. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And again, like I mentioned, I want to know the why, the who done it. I want a crime show that explains it because, anytime we see things in the world, in real life, we want to see why did they do it, What was their motives? What was their thinking? What was going on in their head when they did this? And then you want to see their background so that we can try to prevent it in somebody else in the future. If they were mentally unstable, let's make sure we have that recorded and try to figure out what makes you tick and why you went that direction. So I always like to find out the why. So hopefully we'll be getting back to it here. We have about 30 minutes left. Here we go. Okay. So he's looking up the bones. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so his dad's there. Oh, okay. Oh, but this is the main one. Let's see. So she's been recording how she does her art with the bones. Who's watching? Why? Who? Hmm. Yeah, I think she knew who too. All right. Well, I think he needs to go to the sniper's hide and see what's going on. But that's freaky. If you know somebody's after you. Oh, just broke glass. You hear that? Is it bugs? Is it bugs? Oh, it is bugs. Yeah. Who was? Who was angry? Gotta do it. Who? Mm-hmm. Who? He's gonna jump. He's gonna do it. I was gonna say somebody's got to grab him from jumping off the ledge. You got to get your answer. Nobody should be committing suicide, but you got to get your answer. Of course, you got to save them. You got to save them from jumping off the ledge. If you can save somebody from ending their life, you want to do it. So, I mean, I know Frank's has that, no filter personality. I saved his ass. But I mean, you got to save somebody if you can. But yes, ultimately you want that answer, right? Who was watching Melanie? It must be, it's got to be scary to know somebody's watching you or know that, you don't have much time left. I mean, if Melanie is scared enough, it seemed like she was making those videos, recording her process. Like, this is the art, this is what I do with the bones, So it seemed like it was really a hobby for her. And I think it's great. I mean, it kind of freaked me out at first when the series first started and they're walking to the the house that burned down, and there's this, carcasses hanging from the ceiling. It was like, whoa, what is all this? But now seeing the videos, it just seems like, like I mentioned earlier, it's a hobby for her. So, and that's great for her. I'm happy for her that she has that hobby. We just need to find out. And then for her to make a video of her like scared, it was completely different. She seemed very relaxed when she was making the video about her process, and then all of a sudden she's making this video where she's like crying and she's upset. And when you say, "Grandma, I love you," like when you give your goodbyes, that's scary. She really was afraid for her life. And then we kind of want to find out what was going on with Dustin Cruz. I mean, he obviously knew Melanie, right? Nobody knew that he knew Melanie. Maybe he watched her. Well, I guess the video was VHS, but I mean, maybe, he got interested in the craft. Maybe somebody was watching him too. I mean, it's very, very interesting, I think, to see why. I know I say that before, but like, I want to know why. I want to know that who did it. Why? What was it? Why were you watching her? What was that about? So definitely looking forward to seeing the end. I like the dynamic of the group. I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, Frank has always been old school, even when we've seen him in NCIS. Like, oh, a woman director, when did that happen? So he's kind of always been sexist, but you're kind of seeing it early on. I'm not saying it's right. Obviously, I'm a woman. I don't agree with sexism or ageism at all. But you kind of knew that going into watching this. So we'll have to see how that develops and how much they play on that. Because you don't like to see that. But yeah, I kind of want to see their connection. And like I said, is this like a murder list? Is somebody else going to die after Dustin? Is it just them? Were they in a relationship? Or did they just know each other as acquaintances or somebody who had the same hobby? Maybe Dustin liked that and wanted to get into that. So we'll just have to wait and see if anybody else was on the list. And how does Bugs know who's watching her? So, I mean, that's interesting to me. So, definitely want to see, what conspires with that. And why does Bugs want to end it all? Is it because he knows who's watching her and he thinks it's his fault that she's dead now? Or he said this is where it happened. So does he know Dustin too? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Why did he say it has to happen here at the hotel room? Because that wasn't where Melanie died. That's where Dustin died. So, I don't know. I want to kind of find out why he said that and why he felt the need to do it in the hotel room. So, it's going to be interesting. Definitely want to find out, like, why, you know, he found the need to do that there. But it'll be interesting, definitely. So here we go. Let's get back into it. Oh, doing another premiere week. Definitely stay with me after. We can discuss the episode. So hopefully I'll start right back into it here. All right, here we go. What's the music? Oh, I'm assuming they're letting him get the drugs out. Detox him a little bit. Uh-oh, they want Bugs. It's true. Withdrawal can be rough. Especially if you're a drug dealer, you've been, you know, detox. It is. Who was watching Melanie? Give it to me. Tell me. Give me something. Yes, you did. Okay, you're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. Come on, Bugs. Give them something. They're only a couple minutes out. Give us something, Bugs. Come on. Oh, maybe he saw his cousin do it. Your cousin's in the military? Is he a sniper? What'd you see? Saw what? Oh. So you set the fire. You set the fire. My cousin. No! No! Tell us! Tell me. Who was it? Tell us, Bugs. Holy What? What? Damn. got the answer. It was bugs. Wow. Okay. Ugh. Boys Club. Of course. He has the board. Okay. Well, stay with me for a few minutes. We will definitely talk about this. Wow. That was a lot to take in. We learned a lot. about, his early operation there with Frank's. I'm just going to start talking. We can talk about what we thought and the review, and then hopefully in a couple seconds here, it's going to show us the preview for next week. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely interesting. It looks like it was kind of like a Melanie Hewitt was the case for the first hour, and then, we found out about Dustin Cruz in the second hour, and they kind of connected it. So, I always tell you, I want to know why, I want to know who did it, and I want to know why they did it. I want to get in their head and figure out why, what was their motives. So, thank you for giving me those answers. I don't like ones that you figure it out. No, tell me, So I like to know that. Let's see here. Should be seeing, here we go, the previews. Okay, so just saw the preview for the next episode next week, and they said Gibbs goes rogue. So I guess it doesn't take long for him to kind of make up his own rules. He has that Gibbs gut, right? When he, gets that feeling. If you watch the regular NCIS, you're familiar with the Gibbs gut. And he's going rogue, so that's kind of a Gibbs thing too, I guess. You go with your gut feeling, and you kind of just follow that out and follow the evidence, obviously. But you have to go with your gut and what you think. So NCIS has gone rogue a couple times if you've seen the series over the years. So I guess they're not waiting very long. It's next week is episode 3, and Gibbs is already going rogue. So I hope you liked watching it with me. Some of the things that I liked about it that I kind of mentioned. I loved that Mark Harmon narrated it. I kind of wish he talked a little more. You may disagree because you don't want it to interfere with the show, but I like how it went. I thought it was going to start out him young, like going through boot camp and kind of going through Pendleton. But it looks like he's already done that. He's already married. He already has his daughter. They already have built a life together. But he keeps re-enlisting. He keeps going back. And I guess that last time he went back, he had this gut feeling, I shouldn't go. He ignored it and went back, and, they were killed in a car accident. So that's kind of, I guess we never really knew that he had a strong gut feeling not to go. So that kind of was new information for me to hear. And that's got to be hard to take. I mean, just living your life day to day knowing I should have listened to my gut. If I listened to my gut, maybe my wife and daughter would still be here. Maybe they wouldn't be, because like I said, I mean, she witnessed something. She was coming forward. I'm sure maybe, if you set your mind to do something, even if it's a terrible thing, if you set your, these people that want to kill other people, they set their mind to do it. If they can't kill you this way, they're going to kill you another way. So, I mean, even though he had that gut that he shouldn't leave, at the same time, if this guy wanted to get his wife, then he would have just killed her a different way, possibly. We don't know. But he has that extremely, guilt that he's living with. And so that's very difficult. And of course, like I say, he's young. He's going to get into fights. He's going to have that hot temper, because we all were. You're going through that trauma of losing your wife and child, basically your entire life and future is gone. So you're going to be a little, I guess he's always kind of been a quiet, it seems like, is his nature, but you're gonna get, you're gonna get a little fired up, you're gonna get a little hot tempered, and like I said, this is his younger days, so we're gonna see mistakes. We're gonna see him and Frank's kind of get into it. We're gonna see them, because he's new at this, right? Anytime you start something new, you're going to make mistakes. And that's what we're going to see. We're so used to not seeing mistakes because it's Gibbs and Gibbs knows what he's doing. But we're used to seeing Gibbs as an older man already being an NCIS, boss, basically in charge of a team for X amount of years, right? So it's kind of a different approach, and it's different to see a young Gibbs and to see a young Gibbs make mistakes. Like I said, it's obvious you're going to make mistakes. We all do, but you don't see mistakes that much from Gibbs, and you don't hear him apologize. You don't hear him say these things. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be interesting to see. I like his team. Like I say, Randy is growing on me, TMI at the beginning of the show, and now it seems like he's kind of the friendly guy. He kind of knows when to step in. He can read people really well. I think Randy can read people really well, and that's going to make him an asset. I think everybody brings something different to the table. I mentioned it a little earlier. The way he is with Mary Jo, too. I mean, it looks like she's the one who handles everything for the team. She gets the food, she gets the supplies. And you can kind of tell Frank kind of talks down to her, expects her to do things for him. And I think, that's Frank's. I don't agree with that, but Frank's is sexist. He's discriminative. I mean, you see that in NCIS, So I was expecting to see that in the show. I don't enjoy seeing it because I'm a woman. I don't enjoy people discriminating people because of their age, young or old, or by, their gender. So it is a little hard to take as a woman, but I know this was a longer time ago and the workplace was different. But still, Frank's was like that even now in 2020 or 2022 before Frank passed. When he would come on in NCIS, you could kind of see that he was still old school. And the whole being a boys club, I didn't like that when he was talking to her at the end and she was like, well, I'll go to Wheeler, which is the boss. And he was like, oh, well, Wheeler doesn't like distractions either. So I think she kind of got that realization, like, great, like if you talk down to me or, if you harass me or have that sexism, I can go to your boss. Oh, great. He's in the boys club, he has that same sexism towards women. So I don't like that. I feel like, she's working really hard. I see what Frank's is saying. She's kind of undermining Frank's, getting to the crime scene early, getting intel, however she's getting it. But I think she's doing that to kind of work hard and work her way up. So I feel like there's got to be some common ground there. So I can see both sides. However, I don't agree with Frank and the way he talks down to women. So I think that's going to probably get on a lot of women's nerves as they watch NCIS Origins, because that is Frank. So we have to get used to that. And I kind of thought that going in, like, okay, if this is a young Frank's, we have to just watch him deal with women the way he deals with women. But all in all, I mean, I think it's a good show, because that is what we're seeing. We can't change these people. That's Frank's, that's Gibbs, but I think it was a good cast. I definitely think it was an interesting case. Kind of not really had me guessing, but it always asks the why. You know what I mean? If Dustin and I kind of guessed that if Dustin and her were dating, then nobody else is gonna die. But the ending, whoa! I was not expecting that at all. I kind of have written off Bugs. I mean, if Bugs did it, I get him setting the fire. That made sense to me. He was there. He set the fire. But everybody's watching you. Who's watching them? You. You're watching them. You were jealous. You did it. Like, I was not going to go there. I wasn't thinking that way. So kudos, Franks. You did great. I was not putting two and two together that it was Bugs. I was just thinking he was a tweaked out, guy getting sober, and, maybe he liked Melanie, maybe he didn't, but So I wasn't expecting that ending. So for that, I love endings and surprises that I wasn't expecting, right? I love mysteries. I love murder mysteries. I love figuring out the whodunit and why. So if I can't figure it out and I'm surprised at the end, well done. Because that is keeping me intrigued all throughout. So yeah, definitely looking forward to next week and kind of seeing how Gibbs interacts, with the rest of the team. I do think he took the board because there was that, kind of comment. Oh, and by the way, the game warden didn't take the board. So where did their board go? I'm guessing, it's just me, just my hunch personally. I could be totally wrong. That Gibbs stole it and he's got it at home, or in a closet somewhere, and he's trying to figure out, the killer of Shannon and Kelly, where he is. Because at this point, like he said to his dad, he ran off to Mexico. So at this point, he's still alive. So I think that's where the nice board went is, Gibbs has his own little investigation going and he's trying to figure out who killed them. So, because obviously in the older NCIS episodes, he knows who killed him, right? But at this point, when he was young, he didn't know that. So that's where I think the missing board went. I guess we'll just have to wait till next week and find out. But I very much enjoyed watching this show with you. I hope you did. We were able to talk and review. So if you like it, definitely tune in next week where we can watch and talk next week. And, if you like it, then subscribe. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.